Skill to Lightmare here. We're gonna get into that song that y'all been rocking with loyally, Supercharged Favor. Out now on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all those things. But yeah, I'm gonna go over the lyrics. I'm gonna break down verse one in this particular video. Just go line by line. Hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, share, comment. Appreciate all the support. Check out skilltolightmare.com, favoriteSociety.com, and grab merch. You know what I'm saying? Get fresh. Definitely appreciate the supporters that actually go out and get fresh, get the hoodies, the shirts, the pillows, the hats, and things like that. Just show support and understand that favor that God gives you, it works. So I'm gonna actually go over the lyrics to Supercharged Favor line by line. So the first verse goes like this: Faith supercharged, I'm prayed up. Christ gang, all them other gangs made up. So the first line, faith supercharged, I'm prayed up. So what does that mean? If you guys understand intense prayer and a prayer life, especially through certain circumstances, you know that prayer works. So we definitely have to have the mindset that either you make your circumstances submit to your faith, or else your faith will submit to your circumstances, which means whatever something looks like, that's kind of what it is. And that's not necessarily the case. You know, when the Israelites were at that Red Sea and God told them they'd be in the promised land, you can't believe what you see. You can't believe that you're conquered. So you got to be prayed up. You got to be supercharged. So that's that first line. Faith supercharged, I'm prayed up. Next line. Christ gang, all them other gangs made up. So I'm part of the Christ gang. And for you guys that say, gang is a criminal organization like Wikipedia says, that's not what gang means. Gang just means a group of people. Just like if you're familiar with Charlie Brown, he's part of the Peanuts gang. It's just a group of people. On Scooby-Doo, the cartoon, when they say, come on gang, let's go solve this mystery. Just a group of people. So I'm part of the Christ gang. Now, the Christ gang is headed by Christ. Now, God was in Christ. God doesn't end. God has no beginning or no end. So God's the founder. These other gangs have founders that are finite, and these other gangs will end at some point. Whatever gang that's not of God will end. So they're made up. They're founded by somebody's perception or personal venture for whatever reason, of a location, a street sign, a city, a side of town, all of that. Man, we ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm from the Christ gang. I'm affiliated. I gang bang. I gang bang. The Christ gang. I sorry, but yes, I'm part of the gang. Just like the people in the Bible, they follow Christ. And so, faith supercharged, I'm prayed up. Christ gang, all them other gangs made up. They made up. Say what? Ain't no devil that can fade us. Even if they send me to the grave, I'm going to raise up. So there's no devil that can fade us or dim our lights or overcome us, as long as we are favored by God. So now devil is, opposition, enemy, opposer, these different things. That's what devils are. So ain't no devil that can fade us. But in case they think so, like say if I told somebody their gang is made up and they feel offended by it or feel they want to do some bodily harm or try to end me or whatever, even if you send me to the grave, I'm going to raise up. So if you get aggressive or want to, have me close my eyes for a certain amount of time, I'm going to be woke up at some point by the brightness and glory of God. And I won't know I was asleep. You do something to me, close my eyes, wake back up. Oh, hey, what's up, God? He's like, yeah, you went out for my name. Like, okay, cool. Well, let's get started on this afterlife thing in the kingdom of heaven and the new kingdom on earth. So that's my reasoning behind that bar. So faith supercharged, I'm prayed up. Christ gang, all them other gangs made up. Say what? Ain't no devil that can fade us. Even if they send me to the grave, I'ma raise up. Next part. This is the part where I always see people having a misunderstanding or not knowing what's being said or what ops are. So it says, chest poked out in my op's face. And it's not by my might, it's by God's grace. So, chest poked out in my op's face. Ops are, again, opposers, opposition, opposites, pretty much enemies, foes. That's what an op is. Op is short for opposition or opposer or opposite. And as Joshua 1:9 says, be courageous. So I have my chest poked out in my op's face. And it's not by my might, it's by God's grace. So my courage does not come from my own abilities or trusting in my level of muscle or weapons that I may have. It's from the strength of God. So again, chest poked out in my op's face, and it's not by my might, it's by God's grace. Armor of God on as I stomp snakes, praying for my family and friends because I got faith. So armor of God on as I stomp snakes. So with that line, like I am staying prayed up, fasted up, and in the word, I'm hiding the word in my heart. Now, you got to pray and fast. These things that we eat, they have preservatives and chemicals in them that can warp your thought process at that moment. If you're off of some fat steak and, a bunch of like, Kool-Aid or things, these like powder drinks and different like candy, all these different chemicals. The same way drugs and narcotics get in your bloodstream and can warp your brain and put you in different moods, so can food. And then if you have all these chemicals floating around in your psyche, you may not be thoroughly and properly and clearly directed by God or hear his voice. And so that's why you have to make sure you have clarity and you're fasted up and prayed up. And that's the armor that I use when I'm stomping these snakes. So that part, armor of God on as I stomp snakes, praying for my family and friends because I got faith. So with that, as basically praying for my family and friends because I got faith. I don't pray into thin air, into just dead space. I do believe God can bring about the request or the response that I'm asking for. I do believe he has all power. So when I'm praying for my family, I believe God. So let's catch up so far. Faith supercharged, I'm prayed up. Christ gang, all them other gangs made up. Say what? Ain't no devil that can fade us. Even if they send me to the grave, I'ma raise up. Chest poked out in my op's face, and it's not by my might, it's by God's grace. Armor of God on as I stomp snakes, praying for my family and friends because I got faith. Next part. Strongholds get broken off of my folks. Devil, I'm fasting and smashing your high hopes. So these strongholds, like I said in that previous part, I believe God can do this. So these strongholds get broken off of my folks. Depression, anxiety, drugs, in and out of jail, all these things. I believe that God can break these strongholds off of my people. Then next part, devil, I'm fasting and smashing your high hopes. Whatever the devil's plan he has for me to fail and be a victim of circumstance or get an addiction or lose faith in God and all that, nope, not gonna happen. So devil, I'm fasting and smashing your high hopes. Next part. Every bar in this song is a life quote. Sober living even though every line's dope. So every bar, is a bar. In case you guys don't know what a bar is in music, a bar is a 4 count. That means when you count to 4, whatever was said within that period of counting to 4, that's a bar. And so every bar in this song is a life quote. That means you could live by it. You can apply it as wisdom. Every Every bar in this song is a life quote. Sober living, even though every line's dope. So of course, I'm not really into narcotics and pharmaceuticals. I've never taken an Advil or Tylenol, none of that. I don't take pills. You know, if I hurt or have a something, or I just take the pain. You know, I'm not into drugs per se. But every line in this song is dope. So just like a line and a line of my words, a line of I don't know what, some kind of substance, it's dope. I study my Bible and write notes. Devil asked me to sin, and I'm like, nope. So, I study my Bible. I don't only just read it, I study it, I break it down. Hey, what does this mean? What's the original context? What's the original language? Who was the writer? What is the communication here? What's trying to be conveyed? And then write notes. Hey, this comes from this time period. This is the author. This is what's trying to be communicated. This is cross-referenced with this other passage or verse. I study my Bible and write notes. The devil asks me to sin, and I'm like, nope. So the devil asks us to sin. Sin means missing the mark. There is a target to hit God's standard, and then if you miss it, like in a dart game, if you throw the dart and you miss the bullseye, that's where the context of sin's missing the mark. And I believe God can help me to hit the mark. So I do my best to tell Satan no. I have victories. Sometimes I have lessons where I wasn't as strong as I thought. And grace and all that is present in those situations as I grow and learn from my mistakes or mistakes. Just like a movie where you mess up, I do it. It says take one, then you have a mistake. That's what a mistake is. It means you didn't perform correctly, but you get to do it over. And that's God's grace and favor right there. So, next part in the song is no shackles uncovered by God's name. Favor like a Bitcoin, it will block chains. So God's name, Yahweh, Yehovah, Yahweh, all these different variations that people use, the Yod, He, Wah, He, or YHWH, whatever you may call him, it just means he is, he exists, those types of things. Like I'm covered by God's name. Can't get me, can't touch me, nah, 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 favored, just like that. Uh, like I'm a favorite, you know. Last part, favor like a Bitcoin, it will block chains. So if you're familiar with Bitcoin, it operates on a technology called the blockchain technology. So just a little spiffy line I threw in there. Favor like a Bitcoin, it will block chains. Favor blocks the bondage of the chains, the addictions and all that. I could use God's favor against the enemy and his tactics. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through the full lyrics real quick, and we'll go ahead and, go to part two on another video. But yeah, faith supercharged, I'm prayed up. Christ gang, all them other gangs made up. Say what? Ain't no devil that can fade us. Even if they send me to the grave, I'ma raise up. Chest poked out in my op's face. And it's not by my might, it's by God's grace. Armor of God on as I stomp snakes. Praying for my family and friends cause I got faith. Strongholds get broken off of my folks. Devil, I'm fasting and smashing your high hopes. Every bar in this song is a life quote. Sober living even though every line's dope. I study my Bible and write notes. Devil asked me to sin and I'm like, nope. No shackles, I'm covered by God's name. Favor like a Bitcoin, it will block chains. And y'all know the chorus. So supercharged favor out now. Again, hit the like and subscribe, the notification bell, drop a comment. I appreciate the support, all the TikToks. The song got millions of views at this point, thousands of streams, bunch of comments and shares, duets and remixes on, TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, you know, like 2 million views on Facebook. So I appreciate the support. Please get the merch, favoritesociety.com. Go there, grab a hoodie, a shirt, a hat, a mug, a pillow, just different merchandise to, convey to the world that you're favored by God. You know your identity. If you don't, holla and stay tuned from for what I have to convey to you about favor, so you can understand God's design for your life. But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and get into part two of that second verse. So I'm just streaming live, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video, and then I'm gonna get right back on with part two for y'all. So stay tuned, and grace and peace, supercharged favor, skill to Lightmare. Shout out to my brothers, my hog mob brothers, hooked on God ministry over business, HOGMOB. Also visit hogmobmerchandise.com, get some merch there as well. God bless you guys.